All right, YouTube. It's Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Good mornings. Good Thursday mornings, like 8 in the morning. Now, we got an interesting story as it's going to relate to Elon Musk and X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, Elon Musk, he changed the name from Twitter to X after he purchased it. And anybody who's ever used Twitter knows Twitter is First Amendment to the fullest. You can actually go on Twitter and don't have to worry about getting censored based on what you post. So Elon Musk, he offers Don Lemon an opportunity to do his shows on X. Now Don Lemon, we already know Don Lemon is a champion for LGBTQ rights, and that's one of his main things that he stands on. He's a Democratic, shield from CNN all the way left, but he wants to interview Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk agrees to the interview, tells him he's going to start letting him do his shows on Twitter, which is X. But the problem with these shields from the left is they always are pushing their agenda, and they are always painting a narrative. Now, what Don Lemon wanted to do is put Elon Musk in a position to where he wanted Elon Musk to start censoring the people who post on X, because the left, they don't like how freely you can speak on Twitter and what you can post on Twitter, because it goes against their agenda. They want one narrative. And the arrogance of these Democrats is ridiculous, because they think they're smarter than everyone else. Don Lemon thinks he's smarter than Elon Musk. Have you noticed that? The Democrats think they're smarter than everyone else. If you don't support Joe Biden, you must be an idiot. If you support Donald Trump, you must be in a cult. This is their thinking. It's almost as if God has put blinders on their eyes. Like the Bible says, God did Pharaoh. He said he hardened Pharaoh so the Pharaoh couldn't see the error in his thinking and the error in his ways, which ushered Pharaoh into destruction, because he was blinded by his own mentality, his own agenda. And the reason I'm framing it like this is because a lot of people on the left, they don't only want the right to be themselves, they want the right to force their lifestyle down your throat. Nobody really cares what goes on in anybody else's bedroom. But you want to make it mainstream. You want to bring your bedroom into the public and normalize deviant behavior, or just normalize whatever your opinion is right. Nobody is always right and nobody is always wrong. A broke clock is right twice a day. But the arrogance that you will see when I show you this clip with Don Lemon, as he's sitting in front of Elon Musk, who's just offered him a show, he smirks because he believes in his mind, I'm a part of uh, this movement over here, and you can't really say anything about us. And we want to get on your platform, and we want to shut down any other dissenting voice about our behavior. Now, you don't want to get in trouble. He really asked Elon Musk, is he worried about getting in trouble? As a grown man, I don't get into trouble. You know what I mean? And I'm not even a billionaire, but I don't get into trouble. I do what I do, and whatever consequences come with that, I stand on it. But I'm not in trouble. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do based on what I feel is right. You know? Now I got a question before we get into the clip. If God told you not to do something and the government said do it, who would you listen to? Now let's check out this clip. And I'm going to interject a little bit as we watch it. But this is for fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act for entertainment and educational purposes. Let's jump into this dialogue.
Lemon, quote, contract is canceled, end quote. Now, in a moment, I'm going to speak exclusively with Don Lemon, and he has clips of the nearly hour-and-a-half interview with Musk. Clips like this one that we received from Don's production team.
Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble, or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
We're going to have more clips from Lemon's interview with Musk.
I'm going to stop there before we go any farther. Don Lemon is sitting there looking at Elon Musk and saying, "No, you don't think you'll get in trouble." Don Lemon is emboldened by this democratic idea of we've elevated you people over every other person. Y'all have more rights than the average person. See, I can be criticized. You can say, I don't like your Detroit shirt. I don't like your Detroit hat. I don't like what you stand for. And I can't do anything but suck it up. But if I say I'm a part of their community, then I can't be criticized. And the smugness, as he said, you don't think you can get in trouble? He's talking to a grown man. Get in trouble about what? About how I run my business? Let's continue.
In a moment. In a statement earlier today, Lemon writes in part, quote, there were no restrictions on the interview that he willingly agreed to. We had a good conversation. Clearly, he felt differently. His commitment to a global town square where all questions can be asked and all ideas can be shared seems not to include questions of him from people like me. Now, CNN reached out to X for their comment, and their
One more time. He said, people like me. I'm a member of the LGBTQ community. That's what Don Lemons is saying. You have to show me deference. Don't look at me as you would any other man that is about to do a show on your platform. Identify me how I want to be identified. And then you submit to my agenda because this is what the world wants. The world wants this type of liberalism and behavior that we're promoting, but we also want censorship, and we don't want to be talked about. And what you're doing on X, you're letting people say whatever they want to say. That goes against an agenda. We can't have opposing thoughts. And you, as the owner of X, has the responsibility for censoring out things that are offensive to me and the people I represent. You don't think you can get in trouble for not censoring the people that come on X? Even the things they may say about me and my kind? You see how he put that out there? People like me. What do we mean, people like me? For all purposes, you just look like a normal man sitting talking to another man. What do you mean, people like you, Don Lemon?
Is, quote, we reserve the right to make decisions about our business partnerships. And after careful consideration, X decided not to enter into a commercial partnership with the show. Now, this decision, coming as Musk had, of course, publicly courted Lemon and has repeatedly made a commitment to free speech when he bought Twitter again and again and again.
Well, I think it's very important for there to be an inclusive arena for free speech, where all, yeah. Um, Twitter has become kind of the de facto town square. Free speech is meaningless unless you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. I really can't emphasize this enough. We must protect free speech, and free speech only matters. It's only relevant when it's someone you don't like saying something you don't like. It's damn annoying when someone you don't like says something you don't like. That is a sign of a healthy, functioning free speech situation.
Again and again and again. And remember, Musk's X has over 250 million daily active users. 250 million people on this planet resolve it. Use it. It is the town square. Joining me exclusively out front is Don Lemon. So Don, you do this 90-minute long interview with Musk. You sit down with him. This is the culmination. He had actively courted you to come on one of his tweets. Have you considered doing your show on this platform? Maybe worth a try. Audience is much bigger. It had been public. Then you had reached a deal. I'll talk about that later. Then he texts 24 hours after this 90-minute long interview, which is the first of your show launching. He says, contract is canceled. What happened?
First of all, it's good to see you, Aaron. Thank you for having me on. That's a good question for Elon Musk. Quite frankly, what happened? I don't know. As I said in my statement, I felt really good about the interview. I said to him as we were doing the interview, and it was tense at moments, but you've been involved in tense interviews. Yep. I said to him, I think it's good that people see folks like you and I who have different worldviews come together and talk, as he says, have free speech. Free speech is only important when someone you don't like, or I would say someone who doesn't have your same point of view, or someone is, if they're allowed to speak freely and to say their point of view. Apparently that doesn't matter to Elon Musk. It's just for maybe talking points for him or rhetoric, because it doesn't seem to matter when it's about him, questions about him from people like me.
All right. So when you said that, I wanted to play some of the clips because some of them are.
He keeps saying, listen to the language. Like, if you're a regular subscriber to my channel, you know I'm big on telling you, listen to what he's actually saying. He keeps interjecting people like me. What is it about you that would make Elon Musk not be Elon Musk? You know what I mean? It's as if these fringe group of people attached to the Democratic Party have exalted themselves above the citizens or other people. He actually is saying to what he's basically saying is, Elon Musk, you know I'm a member of the LGBTQ community. You can't treat me like you would anybody else. You can't fire me. You can't not answer my questions. Because if you do, you're homophobic. You're bigoted. You have to let me have my way. I know I got fired from CNN and I'm doing something else, but you know who I am. People like me. Look how I keep stressing that. Follow this video to the end. I'm going to get to the point I'm trying to make.
Illuminating. These are clips that you shared with us. This is a part of the conversation with Musk where you ask him about hate speech. Here it is.
Welcome to X World Wallet, where your money works harder for you, and you can use it how you. Hate speech on the platform is up. Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates. I don't have to answer these questions.
Listen to this. I got to interject on this point. He says hate speech. Hate speech is anything that goes against their narrative and agenda. They want to silence the people from being able to criticize or critique what's going on in the country. This is a part of the overall thing. You can't criticize the left because their leftist liberalism is supposed to be right, even though it's very unrighteous at its core, even though it's very demonic and satanic at its core. You're not supposed to criticize it. You're supposed to turn a blind eye to the fact that you don't agree with their lifestyle. And they want to shove it down your throat, and they don't want you to say anything, because if you do, it's hate speech, it's bigoted, and you should be canceled. He's trying this with Elon Musk, though.
Replacement theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble, or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
Illuminating in so many ways. Right? I have two things I want to ask you about that, Don. First, the great replacement theory. As you bring it up, he has tweeted a tweet he shared. Increasing illegals boost Dem voting power, causing them to recruit more. If Dems win President, House, and Senate, they'll grant citizenship to all illegals, and America will become a permanent one-party deep socialist state. Right? He has gone there directly. How much does he stand by these ideas?
Well, he didn't quite seem to understand that he did. Originally, he did that with Jewish people, sort of a great replacement theory thing that he did with Jewish people.
Now listen what he's arguing. Elon Musk says if you keep letting these immigrants in and you give them the power to vote and attach their loyalty to that party, then we will become a one-party system, because you've let over 10 million immigrants in that you're going to have pledge allegiance to your party. Clearly, we see that. You're changing your voting block based on importing people from other countries. We're not supposed to say that, because then, oh, you can't say that. Why we can't say that if that's what it looks like? Remember when they say it walks like a duck, look like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck? If you're bringing in over 10 million people, putting them above the citizens who've been here, giving them benefits and giving them a leg up, and then making them pledge allegiance to your party, we see what you're doing. And for you to go in there, and then you talking to Elon Musk, talking about, does he worry about getting in trouble? Do you think that people are going to let you people change the world, change human nature, change universal law, change divine order? That's not going to happen. God won't let it happen. So that's why we can see you people clearly now. He keeps saying hate speech and you can't say this, and don't you are actually going to Elon Musk and telling Elon Musk what he can't say, and is he gonna get in trouble? He's a billionaire. You can't even tell me that, Downland. You can't even tell me what to say. Your power is a figment of your imagination, because of your masters have emboldened you to think that you are even relevant to anything going on a global scale, a universal scale. His sense of entitlement is ridiculous, and you see it as he talks to Elon Musk.
And he got in trouble and he had to go to Auschwitz and answer questions and apologize and go with Ben Shapiro. But he doesn't understand that sort of rhetoric that he talks about, the great replacement theory and a migrant invasion. That's what radicalized shooters use in their manifestos, those exact words. The people who go and shoot up people, whether they be Latino people who live in Texas, or Black people who are in a supermarket in Buffalo, or Jewish people who are worshiping, those people use the same rhetoric, that they are tropes, that they're either racist for Latinos or Black people or for Jewish people. And I wanted to know if he felt any responsibility, as someone who has one of the largest social media and information platforms in the world.
Quarter billion people.
A quarter billion people. I think it's 455 or 500 million users a week. And it doesn't seem that he feels that he has any responsibility with that because he seemed really averse to facts.
Here's another clip. You talked about ketamine in this particular instance, something that he has discussed before. Here he is.
You talk about your ketamine use and depression. You also have said, and
the reason I should say, the reason I mentioned the ketamine prescription on the X platform was because I thought maybe this is something that can help other people. That's why I mentioned it. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but I would say if someone has depression issues, they should consider talking to their doctor about ketamine instead of SSRIs.
A very civil conversation, but that is where it got very personal.
Well, it got personal, but I didn't put that out there. He has spoken very freely about his use of, those are prescription drugs, but about his use of ketamine. I would not have brought it up if
Well,
it was
on X, he posted it.
He posted it.
Yeah.
And so I would not have brought it up because that's someone's personal information. So I asked him about it. Also, it's no secret. His drug use, or alleged drug use, I should say, has been extensively written about it by very credible news organizations like the Wall Street Journal. And I asked him that, and he said, listen, I have not read the Wall Street Journal. I don't read the Wall Street Journal. If I don't have time to read about everything that people write about me, I would never get anything done. But also, we remember on Joe Rogan, he took a puff of marijuana, right? And he said it was just a joke and I only took one puff. Elon Musk is responsible for satellites, for Starlink. He's responsible for Tesla.
This is a member of the a black man member of the LGBTQ community doing a hit piece on Elon Musk and saying he took a puff of marijuana and he refuses to censor speech on X, and we don't like it. So we're going to do a hit piece on Elon Musk and say he took a puff of marijuana. But look who Don Lemon really is. This party of the Democrats are so delusional in their scope of what they think they influence, the scope of their power. Okay, they run the government, which is offices and administration. They don't run the people. We, the people, are the backbone of the country. And you have no problem offending us. You have no problem with shoving things down our throat as if that can exist forever. So he's on there and he's been fired from seeing, he's a nobody really. But they're using this opportunity to attack Elon Musk. And later on in this clip, you're going to see why they're going at Elon Musk. It's not about, well, it is about Twitter, which is X, because it is uncensored. You can't be flagged and you can't be censored for what you say or what you think as long as it's not criminal. You follow what I'm saying? But on CNN right now, they under the illusion that we listen to them. We listen to them enough to see where they're coming from. You know what I mean? The art of war teaches you know your enemy and know yourself, and you'll always win. Don't know your enemy and don't know yourself, and you'll always lose. So that's why we listen to them, because clearly we see you want to go over there and try to tell people what they can't say on X, and you want it censored and controlled like they do on YouTube. And Elon Musk not going for it. He gave you an opportunity to come and have your platform, but you want to attack him and you want to attack the very basis of the platform.
He's responsible for a number of different companies on the stock market.
Yep.
And I think that it is important for people to understand his mindset, whether he's using drugs illegally or not, and even if the ones he's using, that's
one of the
supposed
most
to be
powerful people on the
but
planet.
that's he's one of, but ones that he's supposed to be, that he is using prescription wise, that he's following a doctor's orders under that. But yes, he's one of the most consequential people to the planet, and that was one reason why I was attracted to to act.
In this conversation, you did talk about Trump. And again, given his role, it's one of the most powerful people in the world, running X, who he is going to support, whether he donates, the meeting that he took at Mar-a-Lago is of huge consequence in the context of everything that he tweets. And here's part of the conversation you had with him about Trump.
You recently met with Donald Trump in Florida. What did you guys talk about?
I was at a breakfast at a friend's place, and Donald Trump came by. That's it.
What did you discuss?
I don't. Let's just say,
Look at the arrogance of him. I was at a friend's house and another guy came by. He sits there. Well, what did you guys discuss? None of your damn business what we discussed. You work for me. You sitting there under the guise of you some type of protected class. I see you. You trying to get back in the good graces of CNN and MSNBC, the people that let you go and fired you. You know what I mean? These people are ridiculous.
yeah, he did most of the talking.
Did he ask you for money?
He didn't.
Are you going to loan him money to help pay his legal bills?
I'm not paying his legal bills in any way, shape, or form.
Did he ask you for a donation?
No.
Are you leaning towards anyone?
No.
You're not leaning towards anyone because you've been.
Well, I'm leaning away from Biden.
You're leaning.
The trademark laugh there,
Yeah.
which, by the way, in the context of the contract is canceled 24 hours after that interview, it just shows there was a lot of back and forth and give and take. What did you take away from his comments on politics?
Well, he says he's not going to endorse anyone now, but he may do it later. He says he's not going to give money to anyone now, but he may do it later. You never know with him. He may, be endorsing someone now on the platform. But, what's interesting to me in all of that and all these questions that, about what people are asking me, what I asked Elon, what happened, what did I do?
Yep.
During the course of that interview, I never raised my voice. I told him, I think this is important for people to hear, especially considering how the type of discourse that we're having in the country right now. And he supposedly says this is a public square for all. Maybe we're learning that a public square should not be privately owned by someone who doesn't think that there should be any moderation on that platform. So it was interesting because that.
Did you hear that? He's saying because Elon Musk won't censor his platform and the people that go to his platform and the people are speaking out against liberalism and these hidden agendas pushed by the Democratic Party, maybe he shouldn't be allowed to own it. Maybe we should do him like they did Mark Zuckerberg and pull him into Congress about his platform because people are saying things that the government doesn't want them to say. I recently watched the movie 1984 again. Check out that movie 1984 or read the book.
The end, I could tell that he was upset. He was uncomfortable. It was tense. And I said, listen, I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, I would go and have a beer and hash these things out. You and I do not disagree. You and I do not agree on much.
Yeah.
But I will fight for your right to be able to say what you want to say. That's what freedom of speech means to me.
And 24 hours later, then.
And 24 hours later,
The
it
text
means
comes.
freedom of speech does not mean, I guess, the same thing to him.
He just contradicted himself. That's what liars do. If you lie, you got to remember your lie. He just said that if he wasn't going to moderate and censor it, maybe he shouldn't own it. But then you do have the right to say what you want to say. That's what you got to watch liars. A liar will always contradict himself because he can't remember the first lie. And of course, Elon Musk, being the intelligent man he is, he realized that Don Lemon was coming as a spy and a agent and a fifth column, and he rightly fired Don Lemon and canceled his show, which was the best thing he could have ever done for the rest of the people that use X, formerly known as Twitter. He saved us from being infiltrated by these people like him, like he says, people like him, who wants to come over there and tell us what we can and cannot say, tell us what we should believe, tell us what we should worship and how we should worship, tell us not to listen to God, but listen to them.
As it does to me.
Well, that's it for that. I don't know if you disagree with what I seen as related to Don Lemon and what his angle was. You can disagree with me in the comments. Just be, just be respectful. But I seen someone with hubris who went to Elon Musk, who offered him an opportunity to do his show on X, and he went there under some misguided thought that Elon Musk was sympathetic to his movement. He was sympathetic, like, because I'm of this group, I should get preference, and we should change the direction of your platform because people are saying things that we don't like. Elon Musk said no. And 24 hours later, he fired him. He canceled him. Shout out to Elon Musk. Well, Santa, you are Detroit. Salute to all Patriots. Keep your head on the swivel, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.